Welcome to Rewrite Her Voice, the podcast that takes a bold and compassionate look at the inner critic living rent-free in your head. You know the one. She's judgmental, perfectionistic, and never misses a chance to tear you down. But here's the truth. That voice isn't truly you. Each week, we dive into an honest conversation with powerful stories and practical tools to uncover where that inner mean girl came from, why she shows up, and how to rewrite her script. It's time to reclaim your inner voice, break the cycle of self sabotage, and speak to yourself with the kindness and strength you deserve. If you're ready to stop letting your inner mean girl run the show and start showing up as your most authentic, empowered self, let's go. Oh, hey there, sunshine. Let's talk about the power of 1%. Let's talk about effort, not hustle, not burnout, not reinvent your life by Monday energy, just effort. Specifically, 1% effort. Because here's the truth most women don't realize transformation isn't built in these giant dramatic leaps. It's built in those quiet, consistent, almost boring daily decisions. 1% better, 1% braver, 1% more honest, 1% more aligned. And that sounds small until you realize that 1% compounded daily completely rewrites your life. Now, here's what nobody talks about. When you start giving that 1% effort, when you start showing up for yourself, when you begin taking action that brings clarity, your inner mean girl gets louder. Have you ever noticed that? You decide to wake up earlier. She whispers, "This won't last." You start posting your thoughts online. She says, "Who do you think you are?" Or, "No one cares what you have to say." You set a boundary and she hisses, "They're going to leave." You get clear about what you want and she laughs. "That's unrealistic." And the wild part, most of us don't even notice her. She hides in plain sight. She sounds like logic. She sounds like being realistic, right? She sounds like protection. But really, she's fear. Let's talk about why she gets louder when you grow, because this is important. Your inner mean girl is not random. She has formed somewhere. She learned that staying small kept you safe. She learned that being agreeable kept you loved. She learned that not trying meant you couldn't fail. So when you start increasing by 1%, when you start taking aligned action, when clarity begins replacing confusion, your brain registers that as change. And your nervous system does not love change. It loves familiar. Even if familiar is self-doubt, even if familiar is shrinking, even if familiar is playing small, growth feels unsafe before it feels empowering. So your inner mean girl raises her voice, not because you're doing something wrong, but because you're doing something new. Let that sink in. The volume of her voice is often a sign that you're expanding. And here's the shift I want you to consider. What if her voice isn't proof you should stop? What if it's proof you should continue? What if her volume is simply resistance leaving your body? Most women think confidence comes first, but confidence is built through evidence, and evidence is built through effort. 1% daily creates internal proof. You wake up when you said you would. Evidence. You keep the promise to yourself. Evidence. You speak up. Evidence. You rest when needed. Evidence. Every tiny follow through weakens her credibility because your inner mean girl survives on one thing: inconsistency. She thrives when you start and stop, when you dream and retreat, when you say, "I can," and then immediately prove I can't. But when you show up, even imperfectly, consistently, she loses that authority. Not overnight. I wish it were overnight, but it's not overnight. It happens slowly. That's the beauty of 1%. It's sustainable. It's not flashy, okay? It's not dramatic, but it compounds. And here's another reason she gets louder when clarity comes in. Clarity removes those excuses we love so much. When you're confused, you can hide. When you don't know what you want, you don't have to risk going after it, right? But when you get clear, now there's responsibility. Now there's ownership. Now there's choice, and choice is powerful, but it's also confronting. because you can no longer blame circumstance. You can no longer blame timing. You can no longer blame everyone else. You have to decide. And that's when she tries to pull you back. So what do? We don't fight her. We don't shame her. We don't even try to silence her by force. We acknowledge her. Thank you for trying to protect me, right? And then we choose differently. Growth is not the absence of negative self-talk, okay? It's not. It's the action in the presence of it. You don't need your inner mean girl to disappear before you move. You just need to move anyway. 1%. That's it. Not 100%, not change my whole life this week percent, just one small aligned action today. Maybe it's journaling instead of scrolling. Maybe it's drinking water instead of numbing out. Maybe it's sending the email. Maybe it's resting without guilt. That's how you rewrite your voice. Not by overpowering the mean girl, but by consistently proving her wrong. And over time, her voice becomes background noise. And your real voice, the grounded, wise, steady one, gets a little stronger. So today I want you to ask yourself, where can I give 1% more? Not from pressure, not from shame, but from devotion. Devotion to the woman you're becoming. And when your inner mean girl gets loud, smile. Like, seriously, grin. When your inner mean girl gets loud, I want you to smile because that probably means you're growing. And growth is uncomfortable before it's empowering. You're not behind, you're not failing, you're expanding 1% at a time. And that is more than enough. You are enough. You are worthy and you are loved. Now, my sweet friend, I want you to take this 1% of effort message and send it to somebody you love. Send it to your favorite woman in this whole wide world and let her know that the small changes she's making every single day are enough. And then the two of you can keep each other accountable. Deal? Awesome. Okay, my sweet friend. Until the next time, love, Rach. Hey, my sweet friend. Thank you so much for spending time with me today on Rewrite Her Voice. If you loved today's episode, will you hit that subscribe button for me? And be sure to share it with a friend. If you're ready to quiet your inner mean girl and step into your own authentic voice, I would love for you to join me inside our Cultivating membership. Until next time, remember, you are enough.